Hi and welcome to this new video. This time I'm going to show you a trip with a high-speed train from Stuttgart in southern Germany to the city of Cologne. And I'm going to do that trip in one of DB's high-speed trains in first class. As always, let me summarize the main facts of this trip. It takes 2 hours and 52 minutes, well, at least in theory. During that time we cover a distance of 179 miles. The type of train they use is an ICE4, but more on that later in the video. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm right in front of the Hauptbahnhof in the city center of Stuttgart, which is also the regional capital of Baden-Württemberg. Here you see the station building, which was constructed from 1914 to 1928. Back then, the government made an architectural contest, which was won by Paul Bonatz and Friedrich Scholer, but their plan was changed several times. Anyway, traveling at that time in the morning means there aren't many people around, which is good, because we still have this situation and I try my best to avoid crowds. Stuttgart's main train station is one of the largest railway stations in Germany, handling more than 250,000 passengers on an average day. These numbers are obviously not true for now, but you get what I'm saying. It's an important railway station. There is a very complex project underway, which basically will convert it to an underground train station. So at this moment there is a lot of construction going on. Normally the main hall is more vibrant than that. There used to be many shops here, but they are all gone now. Alright, in case you ask yourself what kind of ticket I have booked, here's the answer. For nearly €96 in the Super Sparpreis rate, I get a more comfortable cabin, some newspapers and entertainment options, as well as Wi-Fi, but lounge access is not included. What is included though is the use of this automated hand sanitizer, although normally I prefer to use my own, but for the sake of the video, let's try it out. Well, pretty straightforward I'd say, but it feels a little bit gluey. Now that it's done, I have to do a little walk to the tracks. As I mentioned, they are building a new underground railway station here. It is part of a project called Stuttgart 21, which involves building a lot of railway infrastructure that aims at reducing travel times and increasing capacity. As you can see, track number 9 is where my train departs. So let me teleport myself straight to the platform. Okay, we're on the platform now, and they have these rules of conduct, basic principles of hygiene. And yes, you do have to wear a mask. Here's the coach sequence indicator, as they call it, a rather important piece of information as it tells you on which section of the platform you're going to find your coach. Hopefully it is correct, because sometimes it changes and then you have to walk all the way up the platform. On the platform itself you have all sorts of vending machines for tickets and beverages, some benches to sit down, and there are also designated areas where you are allowed to smoke. Other than that, it's not a very hospitable place. And here's my train, an ICE4 made by Siemens. Bombardier also delivers certain parts. Before I board the train, let me show you some of the main characteristics. What is peculiar is the fact that the predecessor, the ICE4, has a higher maximum operating speed than this one. They say there aren't many tracks where you can actually reach speeds of 300 km per hour, and it's more energy efficient to be slower. But really, that doesn't sound too convincing, does it? Okay, so this is one of the first-class coaches. My seat is located in the other compartment. On the right we have a baggage rack, but as always in the ICE, you can also put your baggage above the seat. So far everything leaves a good impression, it's modern and clean. I also like the lighting. But while the cabin looks good, I heard it comes with certain disadvantages. For instance, DB reduced the seat pitch, so that in first class on this train, it is the same as in coach class on older ICE trains. With 93 centimeters, it is still more than on most short-haul business class products on airplanes. On the right side we have a power outlet, and here we can adjust the seat position, but other than that there aren't many seat features. We have left Stuttgart, but at this point it doesn't make much sense to film out of the window, so let me focus on what is going on inside the train. Now in first class there is service to the seat, and I ordered a big cup of coffee as well as a small French breakfast. The staff worked friendly and efficiently. Before I start eating, let me use my hand sanitizer first, and then let's evaluate this little breakfast. As always, there's a community question. I would like to know how you changed your travel habits. Personally, I reduced my trips, and if I travel, I choose connections where I'm less likely to run into people. But what about you? So that's my French breakfast. It consists of a croissant and this bread roll piece, or however you call it. Both are delivered in a warm state, and they come with chocolate cream and jam, as well as a piece of butter. Together, everything cost €8.19, which already includes the sales tax reduction that the German government introduced as part of their effort to stimulate the economy. Okay, we are not far away from our first step, which will be Heidelberg. That's when the staff revealed to the passengers that the train has some technical problems and they need to check it, resulting in a delay. I already expected the worst, but apparently they managed to fix it. That's certainly good news, but as a consequence we had a delay of around 20 minutes. Now we are leaving Heidelberg towards Mannheim, which will be our second stop. Here we have an interesting landmark, that's the SAP Arena. Behind it there is actually the very small airport of Mannheim, which you might see in a video soon. Okay, and this is Mannheim's main train station. A funny thing about Mannheim is that in the city center they don't have normal street names, because the place is laid out on a grid with different squares, and those squares have names like N1, which is unique in Germany. We're leaving Mannheim again, and our next step is going to be Frankfurt International Airport. It will be interesting to see what it looks like during this pandemic. Here we go, that's already Frankfurt Airport with a train station that is located in this architecturally interesting building called the Square. You see how hard the pandemic hit the travel industry. Normally, there would be many people from all over the world standing here and wait for their train. Instead, it's deserted, a very sad picture indeed. So let's leave this depressing place and head straight to Cologne, where I expect better vibes. Well, let me walk around a little bit so that you see more of the train. I will go to the Onboard restaurant to buy a bottle of water. By the way, normally there would be newspapers available here, but for hygiene reasons they got rid of that. I'm going to show you another way of getting access to newspapers later in the video. All the coaches you see here are first-class coaches. In case you're not familiar with Deutsche Bahn, they have two service classes on these trains, coach class and first class. Hello. So here's the Onboard restaurant, which you can visit regardless of the booking class that you chose. In first class, as I said, you have service to your seat, so you don't really have to go here.
Hier Oreo, Twix, Erdnüsse, M&M's, Snickers oder wir haben dann auch Brownies, Caramel oder
One way to reduce cost while traveling with Deutsche Bahn is to look for cheap rates. Another is using one of the Bahn cards. How does it work? Well, you pay a certain amount for the Bahn card and then you get a discount of 25, 50 or even 100%. So the Bahn card 100 is basically an unlimited ticket which allows you to choose any train you want, anywhere you want, and to go wherever you want within Germany without buying a ticket. You can even visit the Bahn lounges. In first class, that card costs 6,560 euro per year, which is something around 7,800 US dollars. So you can ride the train all day long. I even heard of people that pretty much live in the train like railway nomads. Okay, lavatory check complete. Now it's time to introduce you to the entertainment options on this train. First of all, you have free and unlimited Wi-Fi access. It works fine and you don't even have to go through a lengthy registration process, you just connect to it and that's it. When you do so, a web page of Deutsche Bahn opens automatically. There you can see your location, but you can also watch news clips from the German public television, and moreover, there is a selection of movies that you can watch on your electronic device. Let's try Avatar as an example. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. Also, you can have a look at the menu. While there are no physical newspapers available, you have access to the digital versions of some of them. The loading times of normal websites are also acceptable. So this part of DB's offering is really impressive. They have done a lot over the past few years to improve onboard connectivity, and it pays off now. We have reached the eastern parts of Cologne and we're going to pass the neighborhood of Deutz, before crossing the Rhine, and shortly after that we are going to arrive at Cologne Central Station. This is one of the more modern landmarks of Cologne, the Lanxess Arena, a multi-purpose arena and home of the local ice hockey team. It has a maximum capacity of 20,000 people. Well, as we are about to arrive in Cologne, let me give you my thoughts on DB's product. Overall, I think the trip was okay. Despite the situation that we have, I felt safe and comfortable. So that's the most important thing in my opinion. The train was clean and I felt Deutsche Bahn and the staff have a concept on how to reduce risks. For instance, I read they try to increase capacity so that the trains are not so densely occupied by passengers. Everyone on board wears a mask, passengers as well as staff, and in spite of everything, they provide things like service to the seat. The product isn't the cheapest though, considering that neither lounge access is included nor any snacks and drinks on board the train. Additionally, it isn't exactly the most luxurious train cabin ever built. I mean, I would love to see something like Trenitalia's executive class or Italo's club executive product on German railways, because those onboard products are superior and give you more value for your money. With that being said, Deutsche Bahn has also its strengths. They have a professional and polite staff, the unlimited Wi-Fi connection is also a nice perk, and the train was absolutely clean and new, which is always a good thing, but even more so in these challenging times. Anyway, please let me know about your experience with Deutsche Bahn in the comment section below. Have you ever traveled on an ICE? Maybe even on an ICE4 like this one? How did you like it? I'm looking forward to reading your stories. Okay my friends, we have arrived at Cologne Central Station, so that's it for this time. I hope I could get you some insight on what it's like to travel with Deutsche Bahn during this pandemic. Thank you for tuning in, and I wish you a great day wherever you're watching.